You talked the other time about your preference for ideology on the ballot paper.
Yeah.
But how far do you think that went in the last election, given that vote buying, as you said, was more preferred by the people to ideology?
In the last election, I had 60 days. Okay. Actually, I had proposed the social governance ideology, had a press conference, and appealed to one of the major parties to adopt it so we could work with them. And I gave them 30 days. If they did not accept it, that I was going to take it as a one man to the ballot and get social governance on the ballot with one vote. And when 30 days passed and none of them adopted it, I decided to declare to run. And so my intention was very clear from the beginning, putting social governance on the ballot. And to my surprise, do you know that the student leaders formally wrote to join the campaign? The artisans formally wrote to join the campaign. The stylists, and the day the stylists declare for you, all the salons in the state are locked up. If Nigerians, Akwa Ibomites, could within less than 3 months move this way, because people are sick and tired of what we're going through. It means that for 4 years, if we launch a campaign, Nigeria will think differently.
When you say you couldn't match the APC and PDP,
I couldn't.
Because the thing about that is, you have to, if you're going to match them in that respect, it also suggests you couldn't match them in terms of the structure, the support structure that they had in place. They have members in the National Assembly, they have members in the State Assembly, so those parties are strong. So how could you have expected to have defeated them when they have all those foot soldiers campaigning for them separately?
I had a different intention. Put social governance on the ballot.
Yeah, but
it's not about winning.
Social governance.
This is the problem that we have. You can't always
Were you not
win.
in election to win?
No, not necessarily.
But you said you were in election to win. You said that something was going to change.
Let me tell you. No. I was very specific from the beginning. I said that somewhere along the line, it caught up much better than I ever anticipated.
Okay.
You understand? So there was a change in direction. Let me tell you where I won and they were scared of me. They had their strength, I had my strength. They had money strength, I had ideological strength. Why? BBC came for interview. I was one of the 4 people shortlisted. APC, PDP, myself, and one others. They didn't show up. Just these other 2, one myself and the other. Then Enough is Enough also came up. I was looking forward to debating them. I mean, this is not like the presidency where you say, oh, this.
Do you think that money politics is such that with your ideas, you can barely live with it? I mean, your ideas still remains with you, but money politics will continue to prevail.
We have a choice
in the Nigerian state.
It will, because the present political trajectory is money. And if we don't, that's why we say, look, the present governance structure is government of the rich, for the rich, by the rich.
But it's the same in other countries like the United States. You have to have money to go into politics, to play in there.
Yeah.
So
United
it's not
States, they use money to drive ideology.
Mr. Akwa, I mean, in terms of the conduct, again, much as he has highlighted what he saw, if that, okay, well, you say that's not what you saw, but in terms of, we have some security issues as well. INEC office in Ibom, some of them were touched, and that raised some security concerns. But how did that affect the people eventually, and then the conduct as well?
Yes, I think the Akwa Ibom people, decided to pinch tents with the PDP in terms of expressing their will. I'm not a member of the PDP, but if you look at it, understand the political dynamics in Akwa Ibom state and what is happening and all that, you discover that, look, the Akwa Ibom people actually and sincerely wanted to vote PDP, and they actually voted PDP. Because if you look at the conduct, when the pressure was on Maigikini to resign, you see a lot of people raising issues and all that, like former Governor Boston Akpabio and Oshomole shouting that the Guinea should. And at the end of the day, they were trying to push and browbeat the REC. And at the end of the day, there were no iota of evidence on anything against the REC. But the people there, the stakeholders, equally believe that, look, the REC was in the right time, the right person to be able to make those rules and conduct, and they instill discipline, in those people working with them and all that. So at the end of the day, you discover that, look, Akwa Ibom people actually, because you look at the campaign, you look at the fact that for the first time, I remember what happened in 2011. I was almost would have been killed when former Governor Godswill Akpabio was the governor. His re-election.
He had a huge followership.
Yes, I understand. It's not about
huge... that didn't come to play in
No, it's not about
election?
Huge followership.
Because he claims that his mandate was stolen.
No, it's not about huge followership. It's about what it stands for. Violence. Doing a lot of things, I'm believing that he's acting God and all that.
I will not.
No, that is. I was there. I know what happened in 2011. Okay, so you see a sitting governor now going to re-election. You understand? Without such tendencies.
That we need to stay on those issues and not assassinate people's character.
But I'm talking facts.
But still talking about because when you look through the build-up, the campaign that those political parties had in the state, when you see those kind of people gather for their campaign, people expected it to reflect on the results for them, because how could they, in spite of that huge crowd for the campaign, still be struggling to deliver their polling booths? Does it make logical sense to those who are watching?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you understand the dynamics of Akwa Ibom, what is happening in the Akwa Ibom, when people believe that, look, I can do this, I cannot do this, everybody must be in my pocket and all that. That is, you see, we look at people now express and say, look, enough is enough of this man. I'm telling you, that is the truth. That's what, at least, if I'm not an Akwa Ibomite, I wouldn't have said that. But I know that was what happened. People say, no, this time around, we want to change. If you have been a leader, if you've been doing this, and you are acting God, we are saying no. For this first time, Akwa Ibom people must express their will, and this is what we wanted. That's why you could see presidential election and governorship election almost taking PDP all through and all that. So that is the expression of the will of the people, devoid of other dynamics.
Yeah. There are two things. Two incidents must be viewed within context and perspective. The first is that there was a day that the REC called us candidates, to, I think, the peace accord and things like that. And you see, at that point, INEC is calling candidates. Everybody is a candidate. So we expect some level of equal treatment. Now, the governor's protocol came and put his red carpet, okay, for the governor to walk in at the main entrance. Now, that was okay, but I expected that after the governor had walked in, they should roll the red carpet, okay?
Was that the only entrance?
There was a back entrance. But you see, when you come for a thing like this, and then you say, okay, the governor has gone in, the red carpet is there, every other person passed the back entrance. For me, I didn't think that was wise, because this was not a government project. This was a general project by INEC. So INEC Rec should have put his foot down and say no. Or let one side be there with the red carpet, let the second door be open, let other, because as at that time, Sima, for instance, was still the MD of NDDC, who was a mini prime minister of some sort. And being the second,
mini prime minister?
No, he was in control of 9 states. Anybody that is NDDC chairman is a mini prime minister because he's in control of the South, or the Niger.
Oh, that's how you see it there?
Yeah, that's how we see it, But coming to so for him to come and they say, no, go take the back entrance. You see, it's a political thing. This is about politics, and it's about body language, it's about visibility. So he felt, in my opinion, he didn't tell me this.
So if he felt that way, why didn't you feel, or the other candidates feel the same way?
Bros, sugar size. I can't come here and tell you that me and governor or MD of NDDC.
But you're all supposed to be on the same
Thank you. That was the point. We should have.
No, that's what I'm asking you.
I tried to make
the point at the time.
Yeah.
It means that it was acceptable.
No, it wasn't by me, because I was not ready to pull my weight. Because for goodness sake, you see, why they respect me so much in Akwa Ibom is that I know where my levels are and where my limits are. There are certain things I don't take on. It doesn't make sense. That's number one. The second thing has to do with the fact that Nsima is a good guy. That result does not give you, from an outsider, does not give you the real sentiment. Now, in Akwa Ibom, they do a lot of...
But you said this is the first time people voted.
Yes.
So we expect that the result is what it is.
The second perspective that I'll tell you in 1 second. We do rotational zoning, okay? So, Uyo Senatorial District had 8 years with Obong Atta. He came to Ikorekpene Senatorial District. We had 8 years with Obong Akpabio. He now went to Eket Senatorial District. So Nsima is from the same senatorial district with Udom. Udom has had 4 years. So the general sentiment is that if Nsima took a second term, my interpretation.
Was he going to do 4 years?
Was he going to do 4 years, or will he do 8 years? So people now say, look, this man is already, let him just finish his 4 years.
So that means people reflected what people thought.
So, yeah, so it was a sentiment and not about who he really is. I think it's
so in terms of the general feeling in the state now, what's the mood?
The mood is generally peaceful. People are satisfied and all that. Even some people that I even met, some of them even wore some political party task and then went to vote PDP. So I just look at the whole thing. I said, well, look, maybe we need a different change, but you cannot really change the will of the people, whether rightly or wrongly, whatever they've expressed. So the general mood is peaceful. I came back yesterday from monitoring on Saturday. Came back yesterday, at least I've moved around and all that. So,
all right, yes. We have to thank both of you coming on. Ezekiel Yantok, the governorship candidate of YDP, who says sugar size. President Akwa in the Civil Liberties Organization. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.